All right, Deputy Chief Brian, B-R-Y-A-N, Sky Eagle, S-K-Y-E-A-G-L-E. Tell me when you're ready. Okay, about 10:30 tonight, we had calls of heavy fire and smoke in an unoccupied, huge home back here behind me, about 8,000 to 10,000 square feet, fully under construction. The firefighters tried to make entry, but the setback and the amount of dirt piles and mud in the yard prevented any access. The firefighters went around to both sides to try to contain the fire from jumping to the other homes. You're met with trees and narrow driveways to get back, so we did have to cut trees out of the way. There was a lot of delays getting the fire water set up. We could not make entry. We had to use heavy streams, and as you can see behind me, big ladder trucks to put the big fire streams on it because it's a big fire. We had two problems tonight. And let me just first say that no one was hurt, no one was occupied. We did have a firefighter go down with complaining of chest pains, and he's going to be okay. He was medically checked out, so we're happy about that. Tonight the weather is proven to be very difficult. We have some type of cloud over us. It's probably a rain cloud. There's a lot of moisture in the air. That prevented the smoke from rising. And as you were down here, you probably saw the smoke come down, and it created zero visibility for us. We couldn't see the streams, we couldn't see footing, we couldn't do anything. At that time, the incident commander called for an emergency accountability request to make sure everybody's accounted for, and we came back 100%. Everyone was accounted for and everybody was safe. Still delays getting on the fire. We had to wait till the weather moved, opened up a little bit, but during that time to wait for the weather to shift, unfortunately that acted like a blowtorch, which took the fire from one side of the structure to the other side of the structure. And that's what you see behind me. It basically tore the roof off, or burned the roof off. And so our main focus was to get to the other side to protect the other home from catching fire from the heat and embers coming off that big roof fire. So we had delays with the construction in the mud. Couldn't get apparatuses in. We needed heavy water. We had delays in the weather about pushing the smoke down on us for a few minutes where we couldn't see anything. We had to regroup and reset. We had to break down other ways to get down to our big apparatuses in there, but nobody was hurt. Firefighters okay. You can see we're putting out the remaining elements of this fire. Any questions? He was checked out here and cleared, but they are going to transport him just as a precautionary.
So no one was on the location at the time of the fire?
Correct. It was unoccupied, no construction workers, no residents or anything like that.
Any idea how it started or where it started?
That's a good question. It was pretty much gutted inside, about 90% of it gutted, so it's probably construction material and things like that. We have ONSCENE out here, and once we get this building cleared, they're going to go in there and search for the cause of the fire. As you probably saw earlier, there's a lot of blue flames and things like that, creating its own weather on the top of the roof. And that's usually caused by copper or copper elements, and we don't know if that was part of the construction or something in the roof. But you can see another major delay is when all that smoke would not rise, it creates its own weather. You had a vortex sitting on top of the roof that just looked like a funnel of a fire tornado, and the weather is inhibiting our ability to get in there and make access. Unfortunately, no. We were able to get access. We did have to cut trees. We did have to move. We probably tore up some driveways or something, but we managed to put water blockades on each side to keep that fire contained to this structure and not let it jump over, because you can probably feel the heat from here to jump over to the other structures with fire and debris and things like that that usually catch things. So we got a 2-alarm fire with extra crews, and that means extra support people, because we've been out here 2 hours and we're still fighting this blaze. This is an incredibly complex and stubborn fire trying to get access to it, but it's a big structure. And we got about 120 people out here now, which is taxing on our resources, but we still got a ways to go to get down to where we can get hand lines in there and start knocking out the small areas, but we got to get that big fire down.
Do you know about how many fire stations are here with you guys?
On a 2-alarm, I got to do the math in my head, but you're looking at maybe 8 stations,
Okay.
Something like that. More or less about 30 apparatuses, 40 apparatuses, and all the personnel on there, about 120 firefighters. So yeah, it's pulling all the resources from around us. We're still in good shape from the city. We're not experiencing any problems covering the city, but this is a big fire in a big house with really difficulty making access to it because of the setbacks and all the mud. We just couldn't get any apparatuses in there.
Is this a new structure that was being built, or is it an old structure being demolished?
You know, I don't know if it's new or it looks like a remodel. We think it's a remodel, but there may be parts in there that were added on to it. But it's definitely a remodel reconstruction.
Are any of the surrounding homes affected by this? Or maybe like trees or driveways?
We were able to stop that.
Okay.
So the two ones on the side, which was following the wind, the flow of the wind, which acted like a blowtorch to run it across, we got on either side of that as quick as we could. We put up what we call master streams, heavy flowing water, pushing that fire back, knocking it back so it doesn't catch whatever's on the side of the house. And that could be vegetation, stuff in the yard, the roofing. Sometimes the roof catches on fire, but that is a major concern. We're fortunate enough that we can make access to these homes and save those homes. We don't yet. So when they say the weather descends, I'm sorry, when they say that when the smoke descends, which you saw tonight, the good weather ends. And that proved true tonight. We have a bunch of moisture in the air, and it pushed all the smoke down upon us to give us zero visibility. So that old adage proved true tonight.
It's probably a multi-million-dollar building.
Easily. The stuff what it's made of, the veneer that it's on, the size of it, it's a multi-million-dollar residence. Correct.
Thank you.
Thank you.